Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. We are today Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. I don't really have a topic discussions. Actually, I do. I am going to talk today. We're going to talk about the Haitian women. I don't have anything written down. We are going to go freestyle with it. It's probably not going to be like a typical video. Like, I think I want to talk about different things as I start to talk about like the Haitian women. I believe that I already have a video here on this channel that talks about the Haitian women. I felt like I wanted to balance it off because I talked about the men and I was like, let's talk about the women. So we're just going to freestyle. Okay, the same rules apply. This is not for, we're going to analyze the various typical type of the Haitian women and kind of like, what I feel, with women in general. It is the month of May. The month of May, we celebrate mothers, we celebrate women, we celebrate a lot of things. So I felt like, hey, you know what? Let's talk about that. So, what do I really want to talk about when I say the Haitian women, and what would I want to say? Well, the very first thing that I'm realizing, right, because you guys understand that I am a woman who is in my mid 30s, I am unwed, and I do not have any children. I recently started to date. Dating for me is a little light and fun. I do not anticipate, I don't project marriage into my life necessarily. I like to leave a little bit. So I really wanted to talk about how I'm feeling in that matter, in that regards. I wanted to talk about how we are raised in a country like Haiti. Well, the very first thing that I'm going to say is that women, I find the Haitian women life. I hate to say that because I know some people are going to get rubbed off the wrong way, and they come on the video and say shit. But I'm going to be honest. The thing with the Haitian women, I find that the lifespan, and by lifespan, I don't necessarily mean like life until you die. I mean life until you get a very boring life, right? And of course, I'm not saying that to be married and have children and raise your children is a very boring life, but I'm saying that I feel like it's the only scenario that is offered to a woman in of Haitian descent. It's kind of like it's expected of you to be married and have children. It's kind of like, I tell you, I don't think people really believe me when I tell them that I am a woman who is like a single woman. They don't believe that. They really don't. It's kind of like, oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, I had a huge fallout with a great friend, a male friend, who ended up finding me on the internet. We've known each other since 2010. And then we started to talk, and he asked me out of the blue, he's like, well, how's your husband? And I'm like, I don't have a husband. And then he said, you don't have a husband? What do you mean you don't have a husband? I'm like, what do you mean I don't have a husband? So I just hung up. Guys, I don't like to argue. And I realized, like, when I was done with that, I called my girlfriend, who happens to be Haitian American, but I feel like she understands the culture of Haiti sometimes a lot better than I do. And I was telling her about that. She was like, I don't understand how and why are you upset with that man who knows for a fact that a woman of your caliber or should have been married and been having kids. So I find that that is what is expected of a Haitian woman. And when we say so, we might go into the different social class, because now what I do sense, I'm going to say that it is really the women who have almost next to nothing, because I still do some type of work with kind of like different, women. So I find that a woman who has like a middle social class, she's gonna wait. These days you find women who wait until they enter their 30s to get married and have children. So you'll find women of my, probably like women that I know, they get married around between the age of 32 and 36, 37, have kids, like not necessarily 37, I'm gonna say between the ages of 32 and 35, they get married and have kids. So it's kind of like it's cool, they definitely don't wait for the mid 40s, but I find that this is kind of like the norms now, where women are waiting, but they still do it. They still do it. Not listen, I don't have anything against people who want to get married. So I'm sorry, notification. So yeah, for a woman who is not of that social class, or someone who doesn't have, because for you to be married around that age, I find that these are women who went to school, so women who went to college, they go further up, they get a master's degree, they start to work, they purchase a car, and it's kind of like you set yourself up a little bit with a little bit of freedom, and then you end up going and doing the do and entering a marriage. Now, a woman who is not of that same social class, or who doesn't have that backup, she might get married a little bit earlier. So she might be married like in her early 20s, and she might just be married in her. Now, this is a general case, okay? Don't go by everything that I say, because people get married at 19 because they love each other. People get married at 50 because they love each other, because they want to. So this is a general case. Don't use that as your own personal scenario, okay? So yeah, for another woman who might not have these opportunities, she might be coupled up a little bit sooner. She might be coupled up with a man sooner than that. So and I say this because I even see it in my own relatives. I have younger cousins who are 10 years way younger than myself, like 25, 26, 23, who are married and who are living in their own house with their husband and with their kids. And I never feel any particular way, because I understand that they don't have what I have, which is like they didn't really have parents who could afford to push them forward in their education. So they had to take that route. So it's a sense also of stability, or is it stability? Kind of like, I don't want to say comfort, but maybe like a sense of security for that woman, to know that she is going to be married to that man, and he knows that he has at least a level of responsibilities toward her. And sometimes I feel like that is until you start to have children. Once you start to have children and you start to get caught up, if you don't have a great man who values the fact that you coupled up with him and you are raising his kids, and kind of like helps you balance and further your education, he's gonna have children with you unless you take control of your body. He's gonna have children with you every other year, and then he's gonna kind of like neglect you. They do it. One thing that I also want to say to women that I'm finding out, this is something that I started to find out probably like around like 2013. I started to realize that men are really about themselves. If you didn't know that, well, my dear, now you know. A man is going to be about himself. A man is going to be about, especially I find that these days, it's kind of like a man can be so cruel, where he doesn't care about your well-being if he feels like his financial security is at risk. Do you understand what I mean? So back in the days, you'll have men who would kind of like uphold a certain integrity toward a woman that they married very young, respect that person. But these days, these guys are so about the fast life. These guys are so about the instant, oh, sorry, the dogs, the instant gratification, that it's sort of like, as a woman, you have got to put yourself first in every type of way. You have got to secure at least your freedom, even if you can't secure your heart. Secure your freedom. Have your own way to make your own money. Be a boss in your life, however your level in life. It's so important. It's so very much important. Because I was listening to Jada Pinkett, they have the little red table thing, and they were talking about these women who are married to the basketball, and they started to discuss power and dynamic and relationship, like how when a man has a lot of power, of course a lot of women gravitates toward that man, because automatically with the power, that woman, these women, other women, when they see power, they see that you can take care of them. Well, it's not further away from the truth for a woman as well. So as a woman, when you have a certain kind of like freedom, you are about your money, you have that established, you are going to have very different men laying at your feet. And you're going to have successful men, just like you're going to have young men who are going to be, wanted to, just kind of like about you. There's certain things about you that they're going to like. So you don't really lose anything by working on yourself and by making sure that you position yourself so that you have a certain type of like liberty when it comes to your own well-being. Okay, so I feel like we kind of like diverted a little bit from the topic, but it doesn't matter. I knew that it was going to be like that. What have I noticed with, as I mentioned to you, with the Haitian culture? I think it changed a little bit, but we'll talk about like traditionally when you are raised in a Haitian household, you are not to date anybody. You are not even to speak to any young men. Now, I'm talking about back in the days. So, of course, if you're watching this video and you're in your early 20s, that is probably not going to apply for you. If you are a teenager, I'm very certain that that is not your life. I'm talking about people my age or older. That is practically, how it was. It's kind of like, oh, it's always a big thing. If you're saying someone, you're not really allowed that. But it's kind of like as soon as you're done with school, the next best thing is for you to get married and have children. So that's probably where sometimes, I'm looking at people's life and I feel like, I want more. Like, I don't only want to be a wife. Not to say that I wouldn't be an amazing wife. I would. I know how to take care of people very soon. A friend of mine asked me if I would be able to like cook dinner with these nails. Yes, I would. Okay, I would. So, I want more. I do. I feel like I want more out of life. And I feel like as women, we can. Why not? I do feel like you can. I do feel like you can be a woman who's about her life, a traveling woman, and incorporate that with your family life as well. I really feel like it. I feel like you can have the best of both worlds. I think that you can be a very successful woman who is working and you have a successful family life as well. Right now, do I feel like this is doable in a country like the United States? Well, unless you and your spouse are really making over 100 plus yearly, unless you guys are making that, I don't believe so, because you guys already know that. So this is probably one of the reasons that when I start to build a family, it's absolutely not going to be in a country like the United States. That I already established. No, we're not doing that. Um, Also, I find that the Haitian women these days, they just accept any and everything. This is the major issues that I've been having. This is also probably why it's not so much that I'm picky when I'm dating, but it's so much I'm just absolutely not going to accept. These men, they do very, 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 very little because these women accept.
And my hair is so nice, guys. Look at this. Oh my god, it's shining. You see this? Oh, my hair is so nice. I need to fix it a little bit, like clean.
Sorry about that. So yeah, so I find that the women, they accept everything. Women accept everything. Sex these days is kind of like it's a whatever thing for people. It is. It's a whatever thing for people because it's not like people throw sex at you. Men, women, and the thing with the men also who are married. I don't know why people get married these days. I'm sorry, especially here in this country, because of what I'm sensing. Well, not what I'm sensing, the very indecent proposition that people have made to me. I can't tell you and I can't share with you how many times I've been approached with men. The first thing they ask me is, are you married? And it looks like if I were, they would still be okay to be with me, knowing that I was married. And they too are really comfortable to tell me about their marriage as if I would accept that and date them. I find that very, very repelling, nasty. It's kind of like disrespectful, extremely disrespectful. But also it's the fact that the women here, they accept that. They accept that. They accept to be with someone who's everything that you accept in life. Life gives you what you want. Life gives you what you need. And if there is no such thing as that's the best that you could do. Look at Meghan Markle, who just had a baby with Prince Harry. Do you believe in a million years that she thought she would be in this position? I'm probably certain that she did not. However, she never settled. Even if she married, she divorced. I'm telling you, in life, you should never settle. Even if you are a man, you watch this video, don't settle for any, don't feel like, oh, you're never going to have a woman of a good quality. Don't feel that the women that you've encountered or kind of like, like chicken heads, or women who don't have any education, women who don't have anything going on for themselves. Keep going, keep looking, keep positioning yourself, keep putting this outside, and don't accept. This is something that I really tell myself as well, even when I'm dating, because it's kind of like people have this thing that they'll throw in your face that you're not going to find somebody who's better than them, or they'll throw in your face that, oh, it's the way of it's the way of life. I know so many women who got caught up in messy situation because it's kind of like it's the way of life. No, it's the way of what you accept. It's the way of what you create. I don't want these things. I'm not saying that. And I feel like someone told me just now that, I needed to be a little flexible. I feel like you have to be flexible when it comes to probably like differences of character, probably like ways of communication, probably like, okay, you know what? I don't see the world the same way the person. Let's compromise. Probably in ways that, we have different view. But there's certain things for me, it's like a no deal breaker. You can't court me if you're married. I'm sorry. No. And if you were to ever see me in kind of like this type of situation, trust me, I didn't know about that. Now, I say marriage because that's the only commitment that I have. Now, if you are living with someone, yes, for me, that's also, it's not like marriage, but you live in, if you have a child with someone, for me, that's a, kind of like, no, okay. Plus, when you start to get a certain age, certain things, it's like, you don't want the bullshit. You just don't. Some women accept it. I feel like it's all about like a certain level of acceptance. So I feel like it's 16 minutes and I don't think that I've really talked to you. I hope I did. I'll listen to it a little bit more. I feel like I haven't really like touched on like really what I really would want to talk about with the Haitian culture, but I feel like I do. I feel like I did because I mentioned to you how we are raised. It's kind of like you go through this from zero all the way, probably I'm going to say 25. It's kind of like you're supposed to be about your books. And as soon as you're done about your books, you're supposed to like enter into a marriage. And it's kind of like, really? You have to be prepped for a certain life. That's also the other thing that I really wanted to mention to you guys. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is the fact that as a woman, you need to know what kind of lifestyle do you want. And I don't think that women in Haiti have that luxury. The luxury to determine, okay, I don't want that lifestyle. I want that lifestyle. Because it's an expectation and a lot of times you do things out of necessity. As a woman, you need to kind of like understand, marriage life is not about lovey-dovey and stuff like that. As a married woman, you have your responsibilities. Once you have children, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with having children. Although, sincerely, I don't think the Haitians, well, you know what? We're going to leave this for another topic because it's already 18 minutes into the video. I was going to say that I don't think that the Haitians understand the whole concept of having children. I find that, we'll have to talk about that onto a different videos. But to tell you the truth, if you marry, there's a nice breeze. Oh, it's so hot. It's really nice here because the windows are over there and then it's like up, so the breeze come in. It's really nice. Yes, guys. So as a woman, you really do need to do that. You really do need. These are the questions that I ask myself. These are the questions that I do ask myself. Lately, I've been asking myself these questions because, like I told you, I feel like some aspect of my life or going in the right direction, and I feel like I've neglected some of my personal life. So I feel like I really want to go back into the world and start dating and see people and things like that. But these are the questions that I ask myself. I always ask myself, what kind of life do you want? Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you see yourself in these roles? Do you see yourself as a mommy? Because it's like I could be great with kids, but maybe as a woman you don't want to have your own kids. And I'm so appreciative to any man who has ever come across me and respectfully asked me, do you want to have kids? I feel like as a man, if you see a woman of my age, and she doesn't have any children, and you ask her that question, I feel like it's respectful. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know, for me, it's such a respectful question because it's kind of like you are asking. Because what makes anyone think that any woman would want. Maybe a woman don't, maybe that woman doesn't want to have any children. There are women who don't want to have any kids. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? And it's not, and it doesn't have to be that you can't birth kids, right? Um, these are the questions that I ask myself. It's already 20 minutes into this video, but I find that it's a luxury. And I'm grateful for that. I do find that it's a luxury because I do sense that many people never had that choice. You know, many people never had that choice to kind of like pause and ask themselves, do I want to have kids? Do I want to be married? Do I want to be in a committed relationship? Am I gay? A lot of people never had the chance to ask themselves these questions. And you know, I'm grateful for life. You know, I see the blessings that I have in my life, and it's probably why I continue to put videos out for you. I continue to empower people one way or another to look at things from a different perspective. You know, I am open to having like a beautiful family in the near future. I would love that. I think so. I think I've been thinking about it, and I feel like anytime that I start to think about things like that, then it's about to come. And I've been thinking about it. It's like subconsciously. I've been like, oh, I'd like to have a little baby too. Um, so these are the things that I really wanted to say. I'm not so certain that the video is really about the Haitian women, probably about women issues, about things like that. And it's probably tomorrow. I don't think I'll film. So I'll see you two next week. We're about to receive guests in the home too. So I'll see to it that I continue with a few topic discussions toward women. I'll have something for my men too, because I know my channel, a lot of men watch me. So I want to have, oh guys, also do ask me questions. Like you guys have to go into the community section. That's where sometimes like I'll update. Let's say that you guys don't hear from me here and you guys would want to know like, okay, where I am. Go into the community section of YouTube. You know, people, content creators have the luxury to like write things. So send me your questions. Like if you would want for me to address something, you know, just don't be afraid. You can ask. Or if you want to say it underneath this video, do ask. Because I would love to answer some of your questions before I depart the country. Because when I'm outside of the countries, I don't believe that I'll have the luxury to film for you guys. Okay? So, this is it. I'm going to take off my hoops, go downstairs, eat my food, my dinner from yesterday. I'll eat it now. And, yes. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next. And